In this video, we're going to start by getting a new clutch and center support bearing in the 328i to continue the drift build. We have the diff to weld here as well. Probably won't happen today, but we're focused on two things: center support bearing and the clutch from Clutch Masters. So here we have our JXB center support bearing. We got the track bushings and the street bushings. Probably start with the street and see how it is. We have our Clutch Masters FX 350, I believe, right here, the clutch and the pressure plate. And then we got the Clutch Masters single Mass Flywheel. So all of this is going to be going in the car today. We have our 335i open diff here that we're going to weld some plates into at some point. Again, probably not happening today. We're gonna get those parts in, and once those are in and we know everything's solid, we can go ahead and weld and put this in to continue our drift build. In the last video, we did full stage 2 bolt-ons, boot mods. So we got our intake, all those parts we installed in that last video. One of the seals on this charge pipe is leaking on the bottom where the intercooler is, so we are going to replace that seal while we're under there. But let's get this thing lifted up, start getting the trans out, and start replacing some parts. Full disclaimer right now, this is not a tutorial video. I'm just taking you along for the ride while we go ahead and turn my 328i into a drift build, my first drift car. So let's follow along for the ride and enjoy. All right, now we have all the belly pans off the vehicle and the cross support here. We're getting ready to remove the trans. A couple things to note: it looks like it's starting to leak back here a little bit on that seal. Might be getting tired, may have to replace that soon. And then we do have some sort of oil leak up here, probably some sort of rear main seal. Fortunately, I didn't know it was bad, so I didn't order one, but I think we're going to continue anyways, see how bad it is when the trans and clutch is out, and go from there. So let's continue. Cool, now we have the drive shaft removed. We're gonna go ahead and replace that center support bearing right there with our JXB. Once that is done, we now have the room to start working around our transmission. We have a bunch of lines, connectors, ground strap, other stuff that we're gonna go ahead and start disconnecting like the sleeve. Once we get all that disconnected, we'll start getting ready to pull the transmission out and down. But we're gonna go ahead and start disconnecting all that stuff around the transmission that needs to be removed. And like that, we have the transmission out. You can see it's quite dirty in here. There's probably a lot of clutch debris. It looks like some oil of some sort. Not sure if it's coming from the transmission or the engine side here, but something that will have to be addressed eventually. We do have a new fork and throwout bearing right here, so both of those will get replaced real quick. And then we move on to our factory clutch here. We'll replace this. So we got the clutch out. You can see there's definitely some discoloring on this pressure plate here, and the clutch is pretty worn as well. And then when we go over to the flywheel here, we can see some discoloring too. I started removing the bolts. We're gonna take this dual mass off, get the single mass flywheel on, and then the new clutch and pressure plate. All right, our Clutch Masters clutch is now all installed with the clutch on the inside there, a pressure plate, and the single mass flywheel all torqued down to spec with Loctite on each and every one of the bolts. So that is good. We had our clutch alignment tool in there, we took it out. And then here is our transmission. You can see I tried my best to clean out the old clutch material that was stuck to the walls here, as well as any oil and debris. We've replaced the throwout bearing here, as well as the pilot here. So those are all replaced, as well as the clutch. And now we can begin putting the transmission back in the car, getting all our bolts tightened down, fastening everything else, and continue moving on. Then we will start our break-in period for this new clutch. All right, and we have the clutch, flywheel, and the new center support from JXB all installed in the 328. I didn't get a lot of the going back together process. We're just trying to rush through it to preserve some time, but we're gonna go ahead and drive it now, see how it is, and I'll let you know after that. All right, we're back home from the shop. We made it. The clutch definitely feels a lot stiffer than it was before, grabs a lot sooner. We have the break-in period of roughly 500 miles, so we're gonna drive it pretty steady and easily for that period. Then we'll gradually start to give it some more throttle and see how it handles. The center support bearing, definitely noticeable that it's there. I haven't gone above 3,000 RPMs, so no really telling there yet, but I will update you guys in the next video. That is going to conclude this video, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed what you saw here or you didn't, let me know down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.